It's a privilege to have you come to interview me in this short documentary relating essentially to the origins of the College of Medicine at the University of Ibadan, as well as the relationship between the college and the University College Hospital over the past several years. I was fortunate to have attended two of the prestigious secondary schools in Nigeria at the time. One is Christ School at Ekiti. Was where I did my school certificates in 1956. And the other one is King's College in Lagos. I left Christ School, went to King's College and did my HSC in King's College in Lagos. The background to the Christ School at Ekiti is that my late father, may so rest in peace, was headmaster of several schools in Ekiti many years back, and also was headmaster, he finally retired in Lagos as headmaster of St. David's School, Lafayette in Lagos. But he had always wanted me to go back to Ekiti, to school there. So I was sent to Christ School, and I used to go from Lagos and come back on holidays to Lagos. So I was in Christ School for the secondary school, which was a fantastic school, I can tell you that. One of the best schools at the time in Nigeria. And then there was no higher school certificate in Christ School, so I went to King's College in Lagos. I did my HSC and finished there in 1958, December, and then entered the University College Ibadan in 1959, in University College as it was at the time, as I mentioned, and graduated in 1964. And then thereafter, I did my house jobs in Ibadan UCH, and after house jobs, I went to the UK and did my postgraduate medical training in various hospitals. Again, they were prestigious hospitals through God's grace. I was in Hammersmith Hospital, which was Postgraduate Medical School of London, Duquesne Road in London. I was in West Middlesex Hospital. I was in Radcliffe Infirmary in Oxford. And finally, I was at the Queen's Mother's Hospital in Glasgow, which was a reputable hospital. At that time, the hospital had the only ultrasound in the whole world, and people used to come to watch because the then head of the department, the late Professor Ian Donald, having worked in the Navy during the Second World War, noted that they use ultrasound to sound the depth of the sea. And he, being an obstetrician, knowing that a fetus, the baby grows and is surrounded by fluid around it, thought, if we can have a machine that can use sound waves through the amniotic fluid, through the fluid that surrounds the baby, to see the baby. And he was able to design that machine with the help of technicians, technologies and so on. And an ultrasound machine, which was quite big at the time. Now the small ones, and people used to come even from the United States to our hospital to see the ultrasound there. And I remember going for my final exam, membership of the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists in 1969, and sitting in front of the examiners and knowing that I came from Glasgow. He told me, sir, the one thing we will not ask you is about ultrasound, because you can teach us ultrasound, but we want to see what else you know apart from ultrasound. And that's how the exam went. And of course, I passed with flying colors and came back home at the end of that. By 1969, we were back home, senior registrar in Nigeria, in the UCH. I did about 18 months. I was appointed lecturer consultant and had to go back again to the University of Oxford for my Doctor of Philosophy degree in reproductive endocrinology, which was a rare field at the time because we were more involved in measurement of hormone assays and in vitro fertilization, which was something that I really wanted to be brought back here, to be able to do in vitro fertilization, artificial reproductive technology. And thank God, the building across the road in Usage is now doing that. And some of our younger colleagues, I call them grandchildren, grand students. I'm the grand teacher. They are now doing this, so we're proud of them and thank God for it. I must say, I always remember Proverbs 18, verse 22, which says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord." No question at all. None of this would have been possible without a good wife. And I think she's good. She did so well. In spite of that, she was able to do her own. She's also an academic, and she became professor of animal ecology at the Institute of Agricultural Research and Training, which is part of the University of Oluwole University, but based here in More Plantation. So, and we're blessed with 4 children, as I mentioned before. 2 medical graduates and 2 who did law. First about these travels, because of one's position in the academia, usually there are conferences here and there and so on. So that gave one an opportunity of attending conferences in virtually all the continents of the world. Conference in Melbourne, in Sydney, Australia, in Japan, in Thailand, in USA, in Canada, in the Latin America. Virtually, through God's grace, one has been able to virtually visit most of those countries. And after working also in WHO, that also has given one an opportunity. As I said, I was responsible for reproductive research, strengthening capacity in reproductive research and training in Africa and the Middle East. And so I've virtually visited all the countries that you can think of in Africa, Burundi, Rwanda, Zambia, Lesotho, Mauritius, God knows what. We were able to. There's always something going somewhere or the other. And then, I think that's it. One has been able to visit many, many countries. And it's an opportunity to learn and to see what they can, and to see how blessed Nigeria is. It's sometimes difficult for one to imagine that we are where we are because of the resources, human. And anywhere you go, you see Nigerians, they are doing so well. They make you feel so proud. Said, as soon as you arrive somewhere, in those days, particularly WHO, they will say, "Oh, I'll come and show you one of my boys, one of your boys, one of your girls." They will bring somebody, and you see them, they're from this part of Nigeria and so on. And they are doing so well. It makes one feel so proud. So Nigeria is a great country. And whatever is our problems right now, I'm sure by God's grace, we'll overcome. The first thing is to have a sense of commitment. I think that's the first thing. To be able to be committed to whatever you are doing and not ask for anybody's. If they thank you, it's just a bonus. It's not, you are not doing it because somebody is going to thank you. You're doing it because you believe that you should do it. In particular, administrative positions that one is there. I thank God. Sometimes accept somebody come in and say, "You did this for me, you did it." No, they got what they deserve, but through God's grace, one was the channel that God used to get it done. So you should be proud of whatever you do. You should feel committed and proud of it. That's it. You're doing it because you want to do it and you want to do it. And at the end of the day, you get thanked for it, from sources that you may never imagine. So, and I always thank God that as a doctor, and particularly as a gynecologist, somebody will come and tell you that baby of yours that is now doing youth call, that baby is now a doctor, is now this, and I can't remember. But one did whatever one was supposed to do, and God blessed it. In about 1977-78, I mentioned that the Faculty of Medicine, University of Ibadan, was designated a center of excellence for medicine among the Nigerian universities. Now, at that same time, the University Council made available funds for the building of faculty. I think it was the Faculty of Medicine. They made funds available to faculty buildings. So not just for Faculty of Medicine, Faculty of Arts, Faculty of the Social Sciences, Faculty of Science, Faculty of Agriculture in the university, and Faculty of Medicine were all given the same amount of funds. I can't remember the exact amount now, but the funds were allocated to us for building faculty buildings. But of course, we were transformed to become a college, so we call it a college building. The fortune that we had was that the contract was awarded by the university itself. But the university awarded the contract of the Faculty of Medicine building, which later became the college building, to Kappa and Alberto, an Italian firm. Whereas some of the other faculty buildings were allocated or were awarded to some Nigerian contractors. I'm sorry to say that some of those ones disappointed. But who are lucky, who were not only lucky, we were fortunate that our home was dedicated to a contractor that was very dedicated to building. And through supervision, efficient supervision, when I was dean and provost, we had to make sure that we supervise the building very well. And that's why we get an excellent building. So sometimes later on, some people in Ibadan will be wondering, how come that you had this beautiful building and we didn't? Well, if you go back in the history, you'll find that we're given the same amount of money, but through God's grace, we were able to spend ours properly through a good contractor who was dedicated, and now we have the college building. It's named after me, but I have no cover in it. It's just an honor. I think that honor was done, the council was based on the recommendation of the faculty academic board, the College of Medicine, that on November 29, I think, 2000 and I can't remember the exact date now, 21 or whatever it was. No, not 21, 2000 and either 17 or 18, the council of the university approved the naming of that building after me, the auditorium building after Professor B. Oshintokun, who was the dean before me, and the clinical sciences building after Professor O.O. Akinkugbe, who was the dean before Oshintokun. So those three buildings were approved by the University Council to be named. So it's not just a name put there, it's a name that was approved by University Council. And I must go back again to pay tributes to the current provost and the past provosts, our predecessors. They have built on whatever foundation was laid. It's okay to say you lay foundation and all that. If people didn't build on it properly, it will collapse. And in spite of all the problems, I go into the College of Medicine usually feeling extremely happy and proud that things are what they are. If they have collapsed, there's nowhere to go. I can't go back there. I mean, this evening, for instance, we're going to the college. I graduated 50 years ago. They're celebrating 50th anniversary. We're proud of them, and I'm happy to be there. And I thank God that I'm still alive to witness those things.